Hi, welcome to my channel, Gigi's Altered Objects. I don't know about you guys, but the cold weather puts me in some holiday crafting spirit. In September, October, I went to the Pinners Conference in Dallas, and while I was there, I saw the most adorable little handmade gnomes, and I fell in love with them. So I looked on YouTube, and I found a couple channels. One is ClaasyCrafting and Parcels. So I took the parts I liked from her gnomes, along with the ones from Miriam's crafting cottage, and I put it together to create my own. So these are my little gnomes. Can you see his little face? And this little guy. I don't know if the camera's doing him justice. Maybe the smaller ones. This is one of my favorites. He's just full of personality. And this little guy. And let's see, I made him today. And there's this little guy. So along with my Christmas wreaths, I'll be selling little gnomes. And I should have looked at that fair is in Grand Prairie at a church, and I don't remember the address. But anyway, I was going to give you a short tutorial on how to make these little gnomes, and most of the items you will be able to get at the Dollar Tree. A couple things that I did not get at the Dollar Tree was the cloth for the beards. I picked up 2 different types of the faux fur from Joann's. And I also didn't find any of the polyfill, but the Miriam's Craft Cottage does her gnomes with rice. You could pick up rice or beans at the Dollar Tree, so I was thinking you could do that. From the Dollar Tree, I got several different pairs of socks. The larger gnomes are made from regular socks, and then the little ones are made from the little baby socks. So you'll need 2 socks. Coordinated colors, whatever you want. Some of mine are Christmas, some of them are not. You will need some of these little clear rubber bands, and they do have those at the Dollar Tree as well. You will need some marbles from the Dollar Tree, some type of twine. I'm going to use some thread that I have, and you'll also need the packaging from the socks. You will need a pair of shears and a hot glue gun, and hot glue sticks, of course. All right, so let's begin. This first part comes from the ClaasyCrafting and Parcels. So this one, she begins, let's see, I gotta decide what color I want the nose. I think I'll do blue. So the first thing she did was cut a circle from the packaging from the socks. Great way to use that, have less waste. And you're going to stick it in the bottom of the sock to use as a platform stand. So get that centered on the bottom. You can decide which part you want for the back. Most of the time, the heel is going to be the back, and that'll work just fine for me. The little face that's on this sock is not going to end up showing because that's going to be where the beard is. So you'll just see the blue. You don't have to make these for holidays. You can make them, for Christmas, you can make them for any holiday. All right, then you're going to take a few marbles. Of course, the larger gnomes need more marbles and the smaller ones need less. That goes without saying. And this is going to help your little gnome stay balanced. And it really does work well even for the big gnomes. I just have to watch how much weight I put in their hats because that makes them be a little flimsy. So that feels heavy enough. Maybe I'll put 2 more. All right, after you have the marbles in, you're going to take, now if you're using beans or rice, you can skip that part and just fill it with beans and rice, but I still think it's a good idea to put the little circle in the bottom. I think that was a really good tip. So then you're going to fill with whatever filler you are choosing to use. I'm using the polyfill. I had a coupon that was good on Wednesday, and it was Wednesday only, that for Joann's, and it just so happened I decided I wanted to make gnomes, and I looked, and there was the coupon, and their regular price polyfill was 50% off. So that was wonderful. They also had their faux fur. But you can usually find at Michael's and at Joann's 50% off of regular priced item. The most expensive item is that faux fur, but with a coupon 50% off, it's not so bad. And they do have, you don't have to get a whole yard. I found one that was in the bin that was the, just the partial pieces you get. All right, now I'm going to create his nose. I actually found that the heel doesn't always work well on this guy. I used the heel because I wanted it to be pink, and his nose it's still cute, but his nose pokes more high in the air, where this one, I didn't use the heel, and his nose goes more straight out. Can you see that? So I'm going to choose not to use the heel portion on this one, but sometimes for the color you want, it just works out that way. Maybe if you play with the polyfill more, you can get it so it doesn't do that. I don't know. All right, so you're just gonna poke and pull and poke and pull. And if you're using a white sock for this, another tip that both ladies had was to color the nose with some pink blush to give it a little pink hue. And I did do that on the white ones. All right, another tip, and this one I got from Miriam, was after you wrap the rubber band around, they don't last forever, and you don't want your gnome to fall apart, especially if you're going to give them for gifts or sell them. Well, in any case, you don't want them to fall apart. So I'm just going to take a piece of embroidery thread. You can use twine, yarn, whatever you have laying around or whatever you can find at the Dollar Tree. Give it a couple wraps. And knot it. Nope. You know how it is when you're on camera. Nothing's gonna just go easy. Okay. Make sure it's where you want it. Give it a good pull. And another knot. You hear my parrot talking down there. He doesn't like to be in his cage. It's after nap time. He wants to come out. I'm just going to trim that off. And that little bit doesn't matter because the beard is going to cover that up. All right, so you can already see him starting to gain a personality. Isn't that cute? All right, I like to put a little rubber band around the top. You really don't need to worry about this one. It doesn't matter if it pops off. I just do it to help me put the hat on a little easier. All right, through trial and error, I have figured out that putting the beard on first will help cover up imperfections. So I do the hat last. So for the beard, I am going to use this faux fur. You see I put a little triangle there for his nose to fit in. You don't have to worry about rounding these corners. It just happens naturally when you wrap it around. But you do want to round the bottom. And I didn't do this yet on purpose because I wanted to show a trick that Miriam showed on her channel. So you want to stick your scissors underneath, and you don't want to cut the actual fur. You just want to cut the backing. And once you get it started, it's easy. You might not be able to see it with the light right here, but you can see your shears through the backing so that you know you're not cutting the fur. And I'll show you what a difference that makes when we're done. I'll do it the wrong way as well so you can see. So I'm just going to round it off, kind of a rounded triangle. And then when it's done, do you see that it still has all the fluff left on the bottom? You didn't cut the expensive part off. Do you see that? Okay. All right, so if you were just to cut it, I don't know if there's enough there. probably not, but if you see right here, if I just cut it this way, it doesn't look natural. But if you cut the backing underneath and rip it off, then you have a more natural looking beard piece. So that was a little trick that I learned from Miriam. Okay, so this is where your hot glue comes into play. Another little trick for the, you don't really need it for the tiny gnomes, but when you do the large ones, another thing that Miriam did, and I use that trick too, is she wraps a piece of twine about halfway around, and then it helps to keep the little guy balanced when he's standing up. You don't really have to do that with the smaller ones. All right, so I just put my hot glue around the top and the V. And I lay my little dude down and put his beard on. After you've been crafting a while, the hot doesn't bother your fingers so much anymore. I like to hold it for a few seconds in place. I like this faux fur. It's a little longer than the other one I got. Here's the other one. It's still adorable. Isn't that cute? I just wanted a little variation. But with this one, I can't fluff it out and make a mustache. But look at this. If you choose, you can give it a little twist, and he gets a mustache. All right, so now all we have left to do is the hat. So I'm going to take a little more polyfill. You could also use cotton balls, and they do have cotton balls at the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to put a little polyfill in the very tip of the sock where the toe is. And I'm going to put another little rubber band around that. Several people that were using the rubber bands said that these clear ones seem to be a little more sturdy than the colored ones. I liked them just because I didn't really have to worry about what color it was going to be. And of course, in the end, I'm going to tie. Okay, so you make a little pom-pom. And then again, to keep the integrity of your piece, you're going to do some wrapping and tying. Mr. Theodore is down there, and he's crying now. Sometimes he barks like a puppy now. He's also learning to whistle like his daddy, Jeff. Hi, baby. And he whistled right on cue. That's funny. He quacks like a chicken because he hears the chicken out back. And I don't know where the duck noise come from. We don't have ducks, but he'll also quack, quack, quack. And he likes to go. He's just so cute. All right, we have a little pom-pom on the top. Now here you can add a little polyfill. You don't have to, it works either way. You're going to put the little hat on, a little hot glue around the outside. I think we're gonna leave this one without polyfill. So what I like to do when I'm gluing it is I start with right around the tip of the nose, and I give it a little turn, make sure the heel's in the back, like this. And this is why I put the hat on second. Listen to him, now he sounds like a chicken, he's getting loud. If I don't give him attention, that's when he starts sounding like Sally. Okay, and then I'm going to put, this is why you put it on second, because here you can make sure that you're covering up where the beard meets the sock. I hear you, little chicken. Hold it for a few seconds. Come over and do the other side. I must have gotten rough with this when I pulled the plastic piece out of the two socks. It has a little hole, but as long as that is covered up when you turn the brim, I won't feel bad. If so, it might turn into a chew toy. Oh, I guess maybe I should have taken the rubber bands off first if it's going to be a chew toy. Ooh, that one was hot. gonna let that little piece of glue cool off a little before I get it off of there. Luckily, this this type of beard is less forgiving, so if I get a little on there, I can usually get it off without telltale signs. Okay, and there is your cute little gnome. Isn't that just adorable? All right, be sure to leave a comment. I would love to see pictures if you make your own gnomes, and if you come up with any ideas on how to switch it up. What I do is this guy's gonna get some embellishments. He's probably gonna get a few little snow cones on his hat. Let's see. This one, his embellishment is a few snowflakes. I'm sorry, on his hat, I think I said snow cones. And he's got a little bell. This one I wanted to be kind of feminine. So there's a flower with a leaf, a purple ribbon with a little pearl. So just add any kind of embellishments you want. This guy has a Santa on him, on the top of his. I love his big giant nose. He looks so friendly. And this one has more pearls and little flowers. All right, so be sure to like, subscribe, share pictures of gnomes you make, and happy crafting.